What's up guys, if you clicked on this video then you want to know what is easily one of the best range builds that you can currently use in the Elden Ring DLC. The two reasons that you want to use this build is A, because it does an insane amount of damage just by itself, and B, you don't even have to get close to the bosses or let them get close to you, which can come very much so in handy, especially in some of the harder bosses in the DLC. As you can see just based on the gameplay, this attack is doing an insane amount of damage and just shredding through some of the more difficult enemies, as well as providing some pretty intense posture damage, which can be prime if you want to follow up with a quick punish. So without any further delay, let's just get right on into what you need to have equipped in order to make this build work for you. So starting off, the first weapon that you want to have equipped really doesn't matter. For me personally, I was really going for this like Grim Reaper type build, so I got a scythe. I obviously upgraded it all the way up to 25, and then I put the Blink Bolt Ash of War on it. Being that we're primarily using the spell, this Ash of War is only really there so that you can maneuver around enemies or close the gap if need be, and it just synergizes really well with the whole electric lightning thing that we have going here. The spell that you want to have equipped is the Knight's Lightning Spear. When fully charged up, as you can see, it just unleashes a barrage of lightning bolts that do insane amounts of damage and posture damage to enemies. In your left hand, you're going to want to have the Godslayer seal, obviously upgrade it. The reason you want to use this seal is because it boosts Godslayer incantations and it also scales with Faith, which is really good as far as any lightning attacks that you're going to use in the game. As far as armor goes, you're going to want to have the Death Knight armor set equipped. What this does is it enhances skills and incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult, and the Knight's Lightning Spear is in fact one of these spells that it will increase the damage of. For talismans, we're going to go ahead and start with the Phlox Canvas talisman. What this does is it greatly raises the potency of incantations. In the next slot, we're going to have the Radagon icon, as this will shorten spell casting time. In the third slot, we're going to use the Lightning Scorpion charm, as this will raise lightning attack. However, it does lower damage negation. I will say that the increase to the lightning attack is really good, not only for the spell that you'll be using, but when you do use the Blink Bolt Ash of War on the scythe, you'll actually get a slight lightning damage buff to the weapon. And then in the last talisman slot, we're going to have the Ritual Sword talisman, as this raises attack power when your HP is at a maximum. For a build where you're using so much range and you're honestly not even going to be that close to where enemies can hit you, this is an absolute must for this build. For your Flask of Wondrous Physic, I highly recommend the Lightning Shrouding Crack tier, as this will temporarily boost lightning attacks, obviously synergizing with the Knight's Lightning Spear spell. And then also the Cerulean Hidden tier, as this will eliminate all FP consumption for a short amount of time. This comes in handy because for at least a little bit, at least while you pop your Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength buffs, you won't have to worry about any FP consumption. So the best way to use this build is, honestly, if you're going to enter a boss room, pop your Flame Grant Me Strength, Golden Vow, so on and so forth, enter the boss room and just shred the enemy. However, if you're going for more of just like an ad clear type of gameplay, what you can do is use the spell, stun some enemies, and then when they're stunned, you can Blink Bolt over to their location, much as you see in the gameplay here. And 9 times out of 10, this will either finish them off or do enough damage to where they're almost dead anyway. And that's all there really is to it. I'm just going to let the gameplay do the talking from this point forward. I will say that any gameplay in this video is from around level 200. And this is a new game +1 run, so especially enemies that you see here like the Ghost Flame Dragon are actually pretty high above my level, and as you can see, this build is still shredding this enemy pretty efficiently. So there you have it. If you have any recommendations for how to make this build any better, or just any recommendations in general, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And with that, thank you so much for watching.